Um, just talk about just the general help this will give you guys in so many ways, shapes, and forms, Ken.
Yeah. Well, I think let's start with our student athletes, first of all, and I think let's even start with those student athletes we're recruiting. Great opportunity for our coaches to go into those homes and talk about not only coming to see their son or daughter play here at NKU, which is close, but now expand that to the geographic footprint of the Horizon League. So it's a great sell to recruits by our coaches. Now let's go to our current student athletes. Certainly much less missed class time. I think that more than anything. I mean, when you look at our kids and their travel, especially sports like baseball and softball in the spring and golf and all of those going down, I mean, this will just reduce the amount of travel time, the amount of time that they're in airports, and certainly give them more opportunities to spend time in the classroom as well.
Talk about just the whole concept of what this league means for you guys, as opposed to where you just had a hard time building real rivalries with those schools in the South. I mean, your fans didn't travel there, their fans didn't travel here, and you have an opportunity with this to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, it is a challenge when the Horizon League has 7 institutions within 300 miles. In the previous conference, we had 1 institution. So even trying to build a rivalry with one institution, that one institution is still 300 miles away. Now we have Wright State University in the Horizon League. It's an hour up the road. And I think that goes back to Division II. They had a pretty good rivalry working when they were both Division II. So I know they're excited about this. Gives us a real travel partner. Gives us a chance to really build a rivalry in terms of sending students and fans back and forth. Now take that out over 6 more institutions, and the alumni that live in those states, but also our fan base being able to go with us. So I know our students are excited. Our student government president, John Jose, is excited about those opportunities. So we're going to take advantage of them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to us now to take advantage of that, to build those rivalries. And a lot of times, you know, what makes a great rivalry is really great competition, and then it's ready to go when it takes off. So we're going to have in some of our sports, you know, a little bit of ways to go to get up to that level in the Horizon League, but I think we have a great opportunity to get there fairly quickly.
Talk about the logistics of how this whole deal came together. I mean, has it been a long process, a quick process? I mean, there was talk initially when NKU went Division I that this was a good fit, and it obviously didn't work itself out at that point, and hence the A-Sun came about. Talk about the logistics of how this kind of came about today.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think back when NKU decided to go Division I, there were conversations, would the Horizon League have an interest? And I think that whole dialogue has kept NKU, at least I know, on their information in terms of an institution that might have an interest. The actual leading to today happened very quickly. I think as President Martins indicated, he had a phone call on Monday. The Horizon League said, you know, we've talked with our board and we'd like to have you submit an application. We took our time, and the President did, in talking with some board members and making sure that we were all on board with the move, and then certainly didn't happen until Friday, and then we were confirmed on Saturday by the Horizon League. So from my standpoint, it went extremely quickly, but that's a good thing, obviously.
Obviously, the move from D2 to D1 has been a bit of a financial struggle, and I think everybody probably knew that going in. Can you talk in terms of any real dollars that you've looked at from a deficit, and how much can you make up in the years to come, year to year to year, by this relationship now with the Horizon League?
Yeah, what I can talk about is we've identified within our own travel areas that we can save approximately $255,000 a year on travel.
And that's for all sports?
For all sports, yeah, across the board. And so that's just looking at the expense side of the equation. And I think once people start to get a feel for how good Cleveland State is in basketball, and Green Bay and Milwaukee, and you start naming the Valparaiso, which was in the tournament last year, brings a lot of. When they see the quality of those teams and obviously the close proximity for them to Northern Kentucky, I think that gives us great opportunities to generate additional revenue from that standpoint, but then also the platform within those media markets to help us with sponsorships and other things that we have.
I want to make sure I have the number. I think you said there's 14,000 alums kind of in the league wide band here. How many were there roughly in the Atlantic Sun wide band?
There were, as we looked at it, about 1,550.
Okay, so you're at
versus
12,000
well
plus
over
difference.
14,000, yeah.
That's obviously helps to get some alums to those games in those areas to
Yes.
maybe then get more interest in alumni and donor dollars, all that stuff.
Right. What it does is it brings in your alumni association more into the equation. You can now identify those markets where your alumni are, have events there, encourage them to come to the games, but also have a social opportunity for them prior to the games as well.
I know we always talk in terms of men's and women's basketball and the competitiveness of that, and that's the revenue generator. But what does this mean for your outdoor sports to be more competitive? Whereas they're the most northern school competing with southern schools in golf and baseball, softball, tennis, all that. How much does the competitiveness now change for those outdoor sports to be able to at least have a fighting chance?
Yeah, I think they were some of the coaches jumping up and down today. I mean, you recognize it. The Atlantic Sun, it's obviously a wonderful conference, a great conference, and very strong in a lot of their sport programs. One of the areas that we've struggled in a little bit is the outdoor sports. And you know, when we're playing basketball and down in Florida, you know, you look outside and they've got their baseball teams out and practicing. Well, that's not happening in North